Right, hello, hello. Looks like you guys can hear me. Of course, updates, updates, updates. Gotta love updates. Not so much. Update comes in, it's like, is that working? I don't know. I think I changed everything. So I think it's coming through right now. So it should be good. If not, I'm sure we'll figure it out pretty soon. All right. So talk about an overall snooze fest. That's what we're dealing with right now. 24 hours. What do we got? Dollar Swiss is the biggest mover at 36. Everything else is barely in double digits. 1, 2, 10, 16, minus 2, 6, 13. Yeah, it's dead. With no news, there's really just not a lot out there. Yeah. Some interesting articles out there, right? Japanese yen is too cheap. I think that's an interesting kind of. I'd say maybe. There's been a couple articles recently about changing what would happen if it's no longer like a negative interest rate in Japan, and they talked about how treasuries would suffer really really bad. Um, where was the other one? Where is it? This one right here. Business leaders are urged to explore the Chinese market, but this is the best statement ever. The Chinese market is not an option, but must be, as nearly 90% of American companies doing business in the world's largest consumer area. So, yeah, China actually had some arrests going on out there. I guess it was at the company that I don't know the name of the country, and or the company. I apologize. It's a Taiwanese company. It's the one that produces most of the iPhones in China. Um, I don't know. They're going through like they're going to do a tax audit or something like that. Some craziness or whatever I saw this weekend. But basically, the China is kind of going after countries or companies. So it's one of those things. It's like yes, go explore the Chinese market, get in there, be involved. But at the same time, what happens the moment that um, you try to break in. They have different rules that you have to open up your code and share things with them. Again, it's well documented. And then all of a sudden they decide to go after Taiwan. And then what do you do? Right? You're going to pull out anyway. So that's interesting, funny article, more or less. Right? But this is what we're looking at. So we know we got nothing today. And just to make sure, look, all our settings are right there. So yeah. Okay. Tomorrow, though, we got all kinds of stuff going in. So today is like one of those days where it's like the calm before the storm comes in. Again, you're seeing claim accounts start early with the UK. All the PMI data coming in for the European Union. Bullock speaking actually at 4 a.m. So maybe we get something out of there. But we got some. I love this. France and Germany. Theirs matters more than what the European overall number does, right? Because they know that this is really what it is. And looking at these, here's where we have problems. None of them are expected to change too much. I think the German flash services, again, it's supposed to be 50.3. Was it down before? Yeah, it was 49.8. So, again, supposed to be going higher on the last one, meaning it wasn't actually contracting, but I think there's a threat there that it could be contracting. Everything else there is supposed to, even the US data, right? Again, actually, the flash services was 50.1 last time, showing that now we're having contractions in services as well. So, there's some data tomorrow morning, quick and early. A lot of contraction out here. A lot of contraction coming up. So we'll see. As I said, I'm assuming today will be the calm before the storm more than anything else. Not a whole lot going on in the next, 24 hours. As far as where the VIX is, VIX is showing up right now. It kind of is. I mean, it closed over here. It spiked and came back down again. The dollar, again, more or less flat. You can see it's 0.01. I mean, again, we're bouncing off the same area we talked about last week. We kind of came down and still in the same spot, right? The 106.20-ish range. Nothing earth shattering there, right? Nothing earth shattering. Indices all kind of in the red, and kind of as they kind of should be. Um, Again, with no real positive data today, nobody really knows what's happening. They know the treasuries are kind of getting a little crazy. The 10-year coming over 5% or whatever, or being at 5. Yeah, big psychological level, and people are talking about that. Obviously, aid has finally reached Gaza, but I guess the second shipment is going in now. Um, but the first shipment was 20 trucks. So yeah, we're talking about 2 million people, and 20 trucks doesn't quite seem like enough. Um, Amnesty International, right? If you guys know who Amnesty International is, they're a non-governmental, I guess organization's the right word. right? I guess they consider organization. I don't know. It's got a lot of people in there, but basically they're they're the human rights people. They are building a case for war crimes now against Israel. That came out this weekend. That they have 5 pretty specific instances, and it's horrifying if you read their claims. God, I hope that it just. I'm just hoping that it's written in a way that it is good. They're doing surgeries now without morphine and painkillers, which I think is like, man, talking about, there was a kid that came in, 60% of his body was burned, and they had to operate on him with no morphine or painkillers whatsoever. I was like, oh my God, talk about horrific. Can't even imagine, right? How bad that must have been. But yeah, that's what they're, it's the situation has not gotten better, right? So yeah, again, is there much to be positive about? Not really. Still no speaker. I guess there's 9. I guess Jordan is now officially out of the speaker scenario. Um, so Jordan is out. There's, I guess, 9 candidates now for the speaker. So I mean, not a whole lot can be done without a speaker. You know, there was a talk of extending the speaker pro term or whatever the heck his name, or whatever it's called. Basically, the guy that has to be able to call the vote for the new speaker. Putting his powers up a little bit more so we can kind of get budgets and stuff like that done. And everybody's like, nope, nope, rather burn it all down. Just let it burn to the ground. Go ahead, it's good. Yep. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe now that there's 9 of them, Gates, he made an interesting comment, this weekend about it's the swampiest of swamp. That in a closed door session in the basement of the Capitol, it was decided that he wouldn't be there anymore. I mean, the meeting room's in the basement, so it's kind of hard to. It's you know, I think his initial attack anyway was more swampy. That like one person can get people discharged. That 96% of people can say no, but one guy can do it. I think that's a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's a little more crappy. But I suppose that he was a big Jim Jordan guy. So who knows? Don't know what we're getting now. It could be anything out there. But I mean, obviously, if we get that, that helps out a lot. Gives us some stabilization as far as the economy goes and what could happen next. That would be great for the indices. Again, it's not there yet. We don't have it yet. I don't know. Maybe we get something. I guess they're voting on something tonight at like 9 o'clock or whatever. Or no, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, not 9 o'clock. Sorry, 6 o'clock. There's a vote today, so maybe I don't know. Maybe tomorrow we got some more data to kind of I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's wishful thinking, right? Maybe that they could get something figured out, before it's too late, right? Before it's too late. Um, so yeah, who knows? But that would bring some stability, give us some positiveness. So today, again, there's not a lot positive or negative out there. The negative intonation seems to be that, yeah, everything is not going well. And all the indices are about at the same spot, right? 0.8 down, 0.9 down, 0.7 down, 1 down 1. Again, Apple, we know why Apple's down. Tesla down huge. I guess there was some movement in the oil market. I guess Chevron is buying Hess. Like I remember Hess. I believe it's Hess, right? When we were kids, there was always like the tanker truck, right? It was green. I feel like that was Hess, not BP, but maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like they were Hess trucks at Christmas. It was the only time you ever saw them. I never had a Hess station anywhere near me. But I feel like Sears did something with them, or I don't know, whatever it was. I believe like they were like a green Hess truck, right? At Christmas. It's the only time you saw them. But yeah, anyway, Hess is getting bought out by Chevron. Oil right now you can see back down to 87, which is awesome, down a buck, which is great. Natural gas up just a smidge at 290. And again, I'm happy where 290 is. Gold and silver both pulling back. Silver outworking a little bit. We mentioned this Friday. Don't be surprised if you see silver down like 1.5%, 2% or something like that. And we're there right now, 1.74. Back under 23. Again, where it really should be, right? That's a good spot. Gold at 1970. I think that's a little high. I understand why it is, but I still think it is a little high. I don't know. Until we really we got a bunch of data points that need to come out, and I think those data points will help drive it back down again. But there's a lot of comments out there. You got Elon talking about things. You got Jamie Dimon talking about things, and someone was like, "Oh, ignore everything Jamie Dimon says." I'm like, I don't know, man. the guy kind of tends up, he tends to be right most times. When he does, his bank makes lots and lots of money. So, yeah, I mean, you could say that what everything he's saying is crap, but yeah, I don't know. He's one of those guys that it's kind of like you're not listening to him for what reason? What belief? Because his track record's pretty good. So we'll see. But that's gold and silver going across to the Aussie dollar. And again, really not much. We talked about this level down here at 63, and it went a little bit deep, right? It went to 66.82. We talked about that. But basically in this area, until we got clear down to here, the 62.70, we're stuck. And you can see there's Thursday, right? So as of Thursday at 10 o'clock, we're in the same area. We really haven't moved. Here's the European Open. Here's where we were sitting Friday, right here, and we're just a few. I mean, let's see, we are 4 pips, right? Is there a trend? No. Yes, that has trucks. See, I thought it was Debbie. Thank you. Yeah, the green ones, right, with the white letters. Yeah, I don't know why Hess is associated with Christmas. I don't know if it's considered like, oh, these are the old fashioned ones, and like when your parents or when your grandparents were kids, it was Hess trucks and milk wagons, milk wagons. That's the other thing that's associated with it, right? Yeah. So yeah, Hess trucks. Awesome. See, I thought it was, so I'm not crazy. My brain's only half here today too. I refed yesterday. I've never done a tournament before. I've done like single games. I did like a play day, which was like 3 games. I've never done like a tournament. The boys weren't playing, so I was like, all right, I can, I know we're really, refs are typically short this time of year because a lot of guys are doing the football side. I was like, yeah, you know what? I've never done a tournament. It's decent money. I'll go out for the day. And then they gave me an extra game. I ended up doing 8 games yesterday. So like my legs are. I would love to say Jello, but Jello doesn't hurt, right? I feel like there's no way for Jello to hurt. My legs are just sore. Yeah, yeah. 8 games. And I'm supposed to do 9 games, not this upcoming weekend, the weekend after. I'm kind of trying to figure out how the heck am I going to do 9 games because I'm hurting after 8. Um, yeah, I got to tone it down a little bit. But anyway, almost no movement. Almost no movement whatsoever. We still have a rock right below us. We got a hard place right above. If we are able to rally up, I think 62.27 is the same level we talked about last week. It's been adjusted a little bit. It's more a bisection of right now of the 61.8, but it's really the only thing we have that's even remotely close, right? The only thing remotely close. So 62.70, 63.27 on the top side. There you go. Aussie yen, same thing. You can see at 11 o'clock on Friday, we hit our hard place up top, and then it kind of came through, and it hit the rock on the bottom, and then came right back up, and we're in the exact same spot. It's down 0.04, but I mean, it was bouncing back and forth, and we mentioned this, and actually the close came in right here. Let's see how much did it actually move? And it moved 20 pips before the close. Eventually, it went all the way down for the 40, and then came back up, and now we're 9:30 opened here. So we're 3 pips from where we were. Right? 3 pips from where we were on Friday. Kind of the same thing. We need this one to move. I'd love it if it was a yen based thing here. I think that'd be great if we can get the sucker to move and break, or they're here. I think that'd be awesome. But right now, you got to say, hey, listen, you got to respect this. One touch on the 50. It's gone a little bit lower. Now it's the 61, but it's still the same area. And again, if it rallies up 15, we tag it. It's got 24 below the bottom. I do actually think the next time it comes down, I think it does break. So again, if you want to kind of keep this on your radar and say, hey, right, if we can break through 94.33, not a bad spot, right? So yeah, yeah. Yeah, more confidence if we hit the bottom than the top of breaking, though. But ideally, I would love to break the bottom. If we could break the bottom, or I'm sorry, the top. If we could break the top, I think it's a much better position. Yeah, if we could break through the bottom again, I think we break through. I think this almost turns into a red. I think we take one more pop off of this one, but right now you can see it's just chopping. There's just no movement. There's just not enough catalyst out there. Euro dollar. So euro dollar, one of the ones that has some movement. Now it's not much different. And again, Friday we were sitting right in here, almost exactly the same. But then we had the big drop, right? The dollar strength rolled in very, very quickly, and then Sunday night we saw it kind of retrace back up again. So we are sitting high. It's not quite a top there. I wouldn't say it's a topping pattern yet. We are up into an area where we expected we kind of drew this. Excuse me. Kind of drew this on Friday. This level right here, you can see big, strong push down. Where you would expect sellers to come in right at that level right there. And if I extend that to the right, is it not here? Can I only do it from the other menu? That's what we're running into. So surprised that it turned there? Not so much. Overall, now that the US market is online, what we tend to see is more weakness in the overnight. And that's what we saw. You can see right down here. This is the 3 o'clock open. Right? There's your 3 o'clock open right there. What did the Europeans do? Dollar week, dollar week, dollar week, dollar week. 530 reversal up. Kind of came higher. US news came out. We went off the old area of sellers, and now it's pushing back down again. And it's rallied 30 pips to the downside. So right now, we've tested these buyers. I think this one probably rolls back down. Is there any reason today why we should have dollar weakness? Nah, not so much. Right? I really don't feel like it. You know, is there anything that we should, again, that happened over the weekend that should be the destruction of the dollar? No, not really. Right? Overall, again, all the data points have been good. I don't know. Maybe people are preparing for the reduction in the services number tomorrow, right? Going to a contraction. But again, that doesn't tend to be something that the Fed is looking at so much, right? They're trying to avoid that in the future, but that's not their mandate. Their mandate is looking at inflation, and again, a lot of the articles say that's it. We're done. We're at an inflection point. We don't need to do anything else with inflation. But remember, they're not so much trying right now to um, they're not trying to prevent inflation. They're trying to keep inflation from becoming stagnant or entrenched. Entrenched is the correct word for it, right? You don't want entrenched inflation where this becomes the new price, right? Um, that's kind of where it gets the worst. And even if I mean, here's the thing: the worst part about all this right now, and again, I understand the interest rates. I think there needs to be one more hike, and I think that gets us down to. I think if we hike, I think it gets us to cuts faster, right? If we don't, I think it's a year before we start talking like serious cuts, right? So I think we need one more so we can start bringing it back down faster, um, so it doesn't stay up as high. Overall, I would say I feel like it's more bearish today until we got all the way up to 106.27. There's not really, I mean, again, there's the really aggressive level sitting right here. And I think that's the best we got. I'm not, excuse me, not playing with this level. And again, we've kind of punched it. We punched higher. And again, the lows are basically the same. But, higher highs, more or less higher lows, right? If it continues to push, I think there's a decent sell, a sell that we could put in right there. Whoops. No, I just skipped it this way. Okay. Overall, though, my personal opinion is I think it comes back down here first. Whoops. I don't need the extension now. There we go. If you are going to short or you're already short, probably get yourself out there, right? Before all the basing and the buying comes in. It's not necessarily the cleanest Harry Potter trade either. We do have the wick going through, but there is a lot down here. I would say, like, I don't know if it's going to be right away. And again, this is kind of a news burst up and down. There is a little bit of a Harry Potter here coming all the way down to this 105.40. So again, here, boom, 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 all the way through. Push it to the brink. Question is, are these two here? It is a candle bot or it is a double wick bottom. So that's what you would expect to see. Um, take that. If the price deteriorates and comes down, and we start running back up again, um, you could use this top for news, but I don't know that I would take it today as just a reversal point. Um, yeah, if it pops right up, I don't think I'd take it. But if we can get that for new, if it goes down, I think that could be taken for news. Um, it's not the worst. It's not the worst levels. Um, yeah, it's all right. Honestly, this is like one of the best opportunities we have Euro pound. You can see Euro pound. Just extend this across. European Open right here. There's your 3 o'clock candle. It was the red bottom. And it's awesome, right? You could say that this is a hit. There's 2, there's 3. Love it. Looks like we can go a little bit lower next time. But again, Monday morning, new session, European Open. And again, it's not, just so everybody understands too, we're only talking about 25 pips. This was not like a 60 pip runner. This is not the a gigantic mover. It's the Euro pound. We're down to, actually, I guess we're up because we were 33. We're at 35 pips in a day. But right now we have lower highs put in. We're going to be tempting to push this down. I honestly don't know if it'll break through here. I think we hit one time. Maybe if we start basing in there. Again, this market has 2 hours to go. All right, when you have 2 hours left in your market, you're gonna start to lose a lot of steam real quickly. So, as far as using it as a proxy, I'd say we're high on the curve. There's a lot of tomorrow's data. If you look at this, none of them are really popping through. I think Germany actually has the ability to, if it goes back down to that 49, showing a contraction, I think that gives us some European weakness in. The pound numbers, not really changing. They look like they're both getting closer to 50, and maybe services has the ability to actually pop above. It's close. I mean, 94.4, right? It's not horrible. Um, it's close, right? It's close. But is there going to be any major movement in this one? I feel like really not so much. I don't think there'd be too many surprises out there for people. So, just keep it on your list. If we do break through, again, we mentioned before that it's not really a Harry Potter type trade in here. There's a much stronger. Whoops. Did not want to do that. There's a decent level down here where we came in base, then actually used it, and then kind of it was a new rally point. The 86.68, not a bad level. This one again, buyers there, but it's just not. It's just super slow, no real basing. It kind of exploded off there, but all right, it's okay, right? But it's not really a Harry Potter trade because there's absolutely some buyers sitting in there. So be cautious with it if it comes through in shorts. Right now, I mean, I guess we could put a top on this one if you wanted to. I mean, again, not bad, right? You had the red, the green, and then the red punch through. It's not very big. Go there. How many pips are we talking here? 7, right? 7. It's not huge. Not crazy, but again, any type of base in there, we could see a short. If you do get short, if you're not worried about this zone, if it doesn't mean anything to you, again, 86.68. Watch out for that level because there are some confirmed buyers in there. Euro yen. All right, so Euro yen. Euro yen's pushing higher. I love it. On Friday morning, we hit all this and we were unable to get back. We hit. So again, we're starting to get to a level where we can break. We do have a level coming through, and again, we're still looking for a base and a punch through for that to get it back down to 158. Again, people talking about the end of negative interest rates in Japan could be huge. Again, we're starting to falter up a little bit up top. We're right above that 159. What was it? 159.17 was the high. Right now, it's kind of consolidating in. It's kind of a mirror top. And the lows are not, are coming up just a little bit. With all the movement, and again, you can see all the movement came in right here. European session open. That's the green candle here. The first one is 230. So really it's the second green in this rally. Again, European movement. That market's closing, and then it's purely going to be a proxy play, and we'll see. I mean, again, the yen is not in the best place today, but it doesn't mean it's going to stay that way. There'll be profit taking. You'll see reversals coming back in. I think all of those are obviously on the table of what could happen. Okay. Is there a top in this one? Let's see. Rally this back up. Pull that. Looks like, yeah, again, the next one we're playing with this one right now. You got this little spike here, which is a little annoying. But let's put this in. Kip is being so good. He's just sitting in the bed right now. He was falling asleep. If I didn't have to do a webinar, he'd be asleep right now. He woke me up at 3 o'clock this morning. So I've been up since 3. Supposedly, according to Melissa, he woke up many times between 3 and 6. So I don't know how many that is though. But yeah, he's getting tired. So we got some more room to run. We're looking at 60 pips. Okay. Daily ATR is 107, so obviously it could do it in the day. 4-hour ATR is 35, so it's got some room, and we only got 2 hours left before this one is dead, and it's purely a proxy play. Thus far, since the 3 o'clock window, we're up about 60, so about half a pip. I'm sorry, about half of an ATR is what it's moved so far. If it does go all the way back up, I mean, again, that would be that would be a single daily ATR. But going into all the data tomorrow, if we are up there, I mean, if we do push up, I mean, this is a slow push up into here. I think we look for this one to kind of push down with bad European data. Okay. So, you know, there is a potential news setup in this one. And again, I think we said 18 pips. Yeah, 19 pips. 19 pips to the downside. That's a dog. I was like, oh, just keep moving, but that was a dog. Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. Again, haven't gotten the chop yet. We're kind of still standing there. We're up 0.1. Again, a lot of chop back and forth. Now, right now, we did finally break through, which is awesome. You can see this actually coming back down again. But this area right here is like, oh god, there's all buyers. Look at all the sellers right in there, right? There's one, and then it's like chop, 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 3 in a row. It's like, oh. And that's what it's running into, right? It's hitting it and pulled back. And what did it do? It needed more help. It went down. It found the most recent level of basing, right? There was your level of basing. It grabbed it and went higher and slammed into those sellers and was like, oh, God, we don't have enough power to go through. Go get more. And it just did that. It went and got more. Now it's trying again. But at this point, it's kind of like, oh, God, your sellers aren't as strong as you think. Could this be where the drop is coming through now, right? Could this be where the drop comes through? Yeah, I mean, I think the pound data it doesn't look amazing for tomorrow, but look at all this. Look, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse correction, and then finally it started to peter out. So you have a lot of buyers sitting in here. This will be a little bit of a grind. It's not an instantaneous. Again, racetracks we want big green candles like this or big red candles, not this back and forth, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. A lot of small areas of buyers in there. So unfortunately I, I'd love to be able to say, hey, listen, let's take this short right now. Let's go all the way down to 121, right? We're at 121.75 right now, but there's a lot of buyers supporting this price level here. I think we're going to need some news to help kind of saw through some of them. Overall, too big of an area. Excuse me, too big of an area. Yeah, it's 25 pips. Too big of an area. I mean, obviously there's sellers there based off how the candles are, but it's just too big of an area to be able to take something off of. There is an area up top. It's not the first hit, and it's actually been punched through once, right? Again, there's all this. There's this. I mean, it barely touched here, so maybe it becomes the new level. It would require about 40 more pips to go. It does have a 33 pip 4-hour ATR. And again, with all the news, right? You can see the unemployment there. You can see it's Pal speaking. It's all the durable goods. It's funny. It does not have. It's funny. It does not have all the manufacturing data, manufacturing and services data, right? Because that's 9:45 a.m., which is right here. You can see there's nothing down there. So right there. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. Actually, let's mark this one. Yeah. So European Open, manufacturing and services. Right. I like this one on the top side more. Right. I like this at the top. I like this at the top side more. If we go up, I would like to short for the news. But we'll see what happens. Again, the way to play this one is look what happens from the European Open until the news time that comes out. See which way the market has driven it. It is definitely higher in the curve, right? There's more room to go to the downside, but again, it is backstopped by a lot of this chop back and forth. High side, again, 786. I don't care, but it's a big zone. A lot of chop back and forth. This area has been hit, but it made a pretty decent kind of point. And you can see right there, look, the 50 is also at that same level. So it's getting a little bit of help, right? It's getting a little bit of help. We can move this over to there just so you guys can see it. Pound yen. So pound yen is sleeping. Pound yen is now 44. So pound yen finally biggest mover on the board. Finally, right? But is it really doing much? No, it's just chopping back and forth. We are looking for some type of reversal. Like, hey, give us a red, green, red on Sunday sometime. We were hoping Sunday night it would pull back, and really, it didn't go down. What it did was this. So we knew right here at the European session we were looking for an up move, but we were hoping we'd get the pullback from Sunday before the open. It didn't. It literally went sideways. It was completely asleep. And then went higher. So we had the right European Open move. It just the Sunday night was the failure. Right, we delete that one. Again, with this one surging, we have it coming up to a level. Now this is not a fresh level; it's been here before. There was a little bit of a base above. I mean, you could actually kind of move this to here and say, "Oh, well, what about this area?" Um, I think anywhere up there. I think if we can get a confirmation level coming in, this 182.80 is kind of where these last two hit. I think that's a decent spot. Since the European Open today, you can see. Let's see, 3 o'clock is right there. Took off, came back down, grabbed it, and took off higher. So that's where the bottom is right now. Since the open happened, we're up about 50 pips. It's got a 138 daily ATR. Um, Again, if we can get up to there at the end of the European session, I mean, it is 27 pips away. So not quite a 4 hour ATR. But what do we know? We know this market closes in 2 hours. So yeah, yeah. Is it a decent spot? Yeah, it's not bad, right? It's a decent level. We've had sellers there in the past. As the Europeans roll out of this one, they will not only be taking profit, but also, trying to close their positions down and take less risk. So, it makes sense. Ideally, it does hit around that 1 o'clock time frame. That would make the most sense. And again, maybe we get some help from the end this afternoon because it's been, unidirectional, and then we have profit taking over there too. So maybe the proxy actually starts helping us as well. Okay, but not a bad spot to take this one short. Dollar CAD. Dollar CAD chopping. Chop, chop, chop. And let's see. There's your Thursday. Friday morning, we're sitting down here. And we mentioned, hey, Sunday night, these are decent levels. You can see it. Hit it and push down. Hit it, went even further. Spike just now, and it is trying to go lower. So it's, I would use caution with the level. It's been there a few times at this point. You can see 4 times at least. Even the bottom side, right on the 50. Again, no hair powder entry for that. You know, if we can get a base in there, this is not bad. Again, I got to see where the base is. I'm putting these preliminary on there so you guys can see it. Um, this is not a dead set. Just take it. Don't put this one on there now and be like, "Yep, no problem." Um, Again, we have a decent base in there. Again, I don't use the whole candle on there because it eats up a lot on this end. But again, with all the testing on the top side, I think that's a decent level. Again, 10 for 30. I love those trades. Approximately a break of 136.75 down to 136.43. Again, I'd like to see confirm with some type of base, but not the worst of trades. Dollar Swiss. Okay, so dollar Swiss. Unfortunately, you can see Sunday we came all the way up, and then the Europeans came in and then drove it right back down again. So we were really looking for a hiccup. I mean, it based here, but then it just kept going, right? We had a green, a red, a green, a red, and a green all the way up, and then it finally came through and broke. So ideally, we didn't get it to where we wanted. We were actually kind of hoping this one would actually gap above and then pull back to go. Friday to Sunday is here. It really didn't go anywhere. It came up. It based a little bit again, based in here again, based in there again. It never really pulled back until again we were 80%, 90% of the way to target, and then finally pulled back. So overall, again, it went higher. Didn't get as quite as high, but we mentioned this is very hard to pull a profit target off of this one when you have a spike, and a spike. It's like it's going to be approximately here, right? It's going to be approximately here, right? Because of all the wicks behind, but very very hard to kind of get it. And you can see, let's see coordinates. Take the first one, right? So right now with this one, really, I think I'm not going to draw a zone on that. Hoping there's a little bit of something hidden in there. 26 and 32. Yeah, so the problem with this one of finding a top side is I'm not going to play with this gigantic wicks back and forth, right? I'm not drawing a zone with that. Right now, we do have a level up top, the 89.93. We're kind of floating. It's kind of sitting right in the middle, so it's kind of right in there. Downside, we've been here, and again, it's kind of putting in new levels, been tested a few times. I think, again, 89 ideally is where you want to go, but it's probably going to go a little bit earlier than that. The 89.05-ish level, the low today was 89.13, but I think 89.05-ish level, between there and probably 89.15-ish over here. So like that 5 to 8 pip zone. There's a lot of buying. So if we come down, it probably bases and pops. I don't know. It'd be nice if it finally broke through, but I don't know. It's again, it's kind of that consolidation where you kind of see that the top's coming down this way, and same thing, you're kind of seeing them this way. And again, this is not the angle is not the same on both sides, but we do have again, obviously, some buying coming at this 89 level, and again, 89 psychological, right? No, I was just thinking narrow. Yeah, I'm like so sleep deprived. If I can't talk and think at the same time, I have to do one or the other right now. Can't do both. Can't do both. No, I was just thinking. Um, it's one of those skills. Normally I try to think out loud so you guys can, kind of hear my thoughts on things. But sometimes like today, I just have to think. Yep. So dollar yen. Dollar yen, look at this. Imagine that. Everything else is moving and we're still stuck right there. We didn't hit it again. We came up to 149.99. No one wanted to be that guy that was going to do it on the 50, and now it's down 10 pips already. So where we are right now, as you guys could see, right? Tuesday. That's today and tomorrow. You can see right there, we have a core CPI reading on a yearly basis of 3.3. So the question is, if this comes in at like a 3.4, right? What happens if it goes up just a little bit? Everybody's seen it go up a little bit. If this goes up just a little bit, again at 1 a.m. in the morning, could that be a selling signal inside of the dollar yen that there could be something new, something different? Again, they've been doing the same thing for, I mean, it's not even decade at this point. It was lost decade. Now it's like lost quarter century, I guess. Right? Yeah, again, it is yellow, but if this does spike, there's been enough comments that we've seen BOJ is too cheap. The yen, there's the too cheap piece of it. Here you go. Yields hit new decade high as speculations on tweaking, not just doing nothing. So yeah, so a lot of BOJ data. So I'm wondering again, if we're not able to maintain and break, is this going to be an area where we see a bit of a pullback to the downside? So it's there. Is there a great level that I love? Not really, but my thinking on this one is, It is Monday. If you wanted to play like a swing trade position on this one, if you could get something cheap in like the dollar yen for like a weekly position to be short, not the worst position, right? Not the worst position because again, there's been so much just sideways movement. Nobody really has any idea. Is it going higher? Is it going lower? It's 150. It's weak, but it's maintaining where everything else is still moving because they are not near these big psychological levels. 150 is a huge level, right? So yeah, I mean, right now we're not in any trend. We're literally sideways. We have a red, we have a green that came up that didn't go as much, but then we have a red that came down and didn't even close below. So we do have technically a green, red, green, but it's been broken because the red is now lower than the green. So it's purely sideways. Again, I think we're kind of looking over a cliff right here. And again, with that data this morning, even though I know it's yellow, could it be enough that somebody, again, it is yellow because one, it's in the middle of the night. And two, people are like, oh, who cares what happens at the end? It's weak. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Well, the BOJ cares, obviously, right? The BOJ still cares. So if they do have to move things around, yes, it does change things on an international spectrum. Remember, websites like Forex Factory, they're showing you again what is a big market mover. At 1 o'clock in the morning, there's not a whole lot that's a big market mover, right? So that kind of hurts them, right? Just think how big it would be for us, like our year-over-year CPI number. It's a lot, right? Well, it's a lot for the yen too. So could that drive this down on an international spectrum? Absolutely, right? And that would be yen strength to the downside. All right, so crude. All right, so crude, we were looking for a pullback. We were actually kind of looking for a gap. Friday, Sunday is right here. Okay. We were hoping to get a gap kind of up and then a push down. We talked about this one being a little bit too high. You can see it started here and now it's sitting there. So it's going down like we were looking for. It didn't give us the cleanest. And the reality is it did gap. I mean, here's your Friday and then there's your Sunday. So there's your gap. It opened here, kind of came up and then went lower and then it also hit it here. So it did kind of what we were. Oh, it's Kip. Jesus, he's singing. It's like I thought he was asleep, and all of a sudden he hear this whoop behind me. I was like, "What the heck?" Um, so it did come up and fill the gap at the push lower. Again, there's an area down here at buyers of 86.50. Right now, again, there's still so much, still so much talk about what's going to happen here with the Middle East and et cetera, et cetera. Um, it hasn't completely tumbled out of control yet. Um, doesn't mean that it won't, but it doesn't mean that it will. So yeah, I think right now it's just kind of like, And yeah, warnings of a recession, I think, are also hurting this one. So yeah, we'll see. But again, it did give us the gap. We were trying to hope to get a little bit higher. We're like, hey, if we can gap above, that would be great. What? What do you want? Go ahead, give me your play. I'll fix it. Go. I'm busy. I'm busy. Yeah. Go get it for me. Go. You want me to turn TV on? Oh, give me the remote. Go give me the remote. Go ahead. He's pointing. He's like, yeah, I want you to walk in the room and grab my plate for me. So yeah, I'd like this to push a little bit farther down. Again, remember, we still have a trade waiting over here. If we break below 85.34, we're looking for a break all the way down to 84. So hopefully we can get there. We're still a couple bucks before we get there. And again, one little area, 78.6 is there. I don't like it. I know James always liked it, and James is always a 78.6 guy. He's like, yeah, I love the 78.6. So just be aware of that there is a kind of a little hiccup right there, and it was kind of an old level. And again, one of James's levels, not mine. Okay. Looking at natural gas. All right, so natural gas. Natural gas closed here. We're basically where we closed on Friday. No real movement out of there, which is kind of crazy because, yeah, natural gas moves higher as long-term forecast. See colder weather on the way. Yeah, it was cold this weekend. It was like 45, 46, 48. Basically cold enough to where, parents were complaining about the cold on the sidelines and the kids were cold. It wasn't obviously no ice or anything like that out there, but, when you're used to 70s and all of a sudden it hits like 48s or 50 and you're like, whoa, this is cold. In 2 months from now, we'll be like, 50 is nothing. I'm not even turning the heat on, right? We're just not used to it yet. We don't have our winter blood. We have our summer blood still. So yeah, give it some time. But the fact that people expressed that it was cold, again, there will be some kind of exactly what they're saying here. The temperatures are going to get a little colder. Yeah, I mean, it is almost November. So yeah, it's kind of supposed to get cold. But we do have an area coming a little bit higher. I'd be very cautious of this level. It's kind of peaked it up here twice. It did have a nice response here on Friday morning, but pushing back down again. But again, realized that the original zone was broken a little bit. It kind of made an attempt up and then kind of pushed higher. So I do think it's starting to run out of sellers there. It is backstopped by the three, which will be a big psychological level. But 295 again is not too big of a stretch with this pair. Um, on Friday, again, we were deteriorating. I said, hey, don't be surprised if you see this one green. Here, let me see. And it is up. I thought it would be up maybe a little bit more than this, but not surprised it is up. Like I said, I think as soon as people hear cold weather, and they experience cold weather, then all of a sudden it's like, whoop, there we go. Okay, what are you doing? He's buying a Kia. Okay, King Kia of Laurel. Okay, what are you buying here? Okay, he's trying to purchase. That's why I love YouTube. YouTube is the greatest thing ever. I'm watching kids' cartoons, and magically he can find an ad for a Kia, and he's now trying to pick a $41,000. What is this? A Kia Telluride S. Yeah, 41. Thank God it was the most expensive. Yeah, get my E price. Lovely. Good job, Kip. Good job, bud. Oh, he's like 6 menus in. Oh, what is he doing? It's the state of our economy right now. That my 2-year-old can purchase a Kia because he's watching Blippy and here Lifty and Scoop videos. So yeah, gotta love it. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised if it comes up. Be cautious. Again, we have the sellers coming in or right there, but it has been pushed. It has gone further, and again, three is it's backstopped by three. Gold. All right, so gold again. 2000 is a big deal. 1996, yeah, it was the high. You can see kind of it's. I wouldn't say it's really not much. Again, Friday we were sitting in here. We closed in that area. We talked about, hey, listen, it's gonna hit like 1 o'clock and flatline, and it did. European session, or I'm sorry, overnight we drove it down. European session picked this bad boy up, actually right here. So we're kind of where we were European Open. Not much movement. I mean, there's no data right now to suggest that anything's going to change one way or the other. Again, we do have kind of two highs up there and a lower low. So I would say it pulling back down to the 1964 range is probably possible. No real great trade setup on this one. Again, I think it's down, but it's not it's not really changing its trend trajectory at this point. It's just because again we had that one fluctuation where it was you know sunny night, sunny night, and we're back exactly kind of in the same proximity. So overall, this is one we talked about the other day. I'm just going to keep that on there. Special. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably a decent spot for reversal until we get data. I'd like to see where we are from now till tomorrow morning. Again, the data it's not going to be huge. Again, the manufacturing services are already showing contraction, so it's not going to be a monstrous one unless they both bump over 50. If they both bump over 50, which I don't think is going to happen, but if it do, this one I think heads to the downside. So it's not a bad spot. I wouldn't be surprised actually if we come down and we base around a little bit and then pop right back up again. So, yeah, see, gold subdued. Spotlight shifts to U.S. economic data. Yeah, they're looking at data again. Um, Again, a lot of this rise was the yeah. I'd say I feel more negative about it, but I don't think it has. I don't think it has really far to run. Silver. Yeah, look at the chop in this one. We even said see what happens. You can see it actually opened in a level right there. Right, we opened here and then went right back up, and there's the other side. So funny enough, that's where we closed. We opened up at the 23.6 level in an area, went up, grabbed the gap, and then went right back down again. So yeah, playing a little bit of games around here. Yeah, I'm playing with 23, right? above 23, below 23. Um, Same thing. I don't think tomorrow's going to be a big deal as far as we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we're up tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it gets real ugly real quick. Maybe there's a statement, right? You never know. But overall, I don't think it's going to be a big deal. I don't know. Maybe if this vote that's coming in at 6 o'clock today, if we can get a speaker, that should definitely help, right, with the inflation aspect of things. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't have a high confidence that that'll get done today, but I know there's a vote. I think it's either 6 or 6:30 tonight. That may help this one a little bit. Let's see what kind of movement we have. Oh, look, they're all in the green now, right? VIX going back down again. Again, no news. What's the dollar doing? Dollar's dropping, right? Dollar's dropping, so that should be good for the indices. So let's see what we got. All right. So 9:30. Unfortunately, this one didn't have any confirmed zones in the overnight. We're kind of pushing low. And remember, we talk about this quite often. We talk about traps, right? What do we talk about? What do we say about the Globex highs and lows? They make wonderful traps. There would have been the Globex low, right? 5:45 in the morning. And what happened today at the open? The open is the red candle. So everybody, the open happens. Waiting, 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 waiting. Oh my God, we broke through the Globex low. Everybody hit sell. And the second that everybody hit sell, what happened? Straight back to the top side. Nice little trap. Now, again, we're probably running into the opposite side of the equation up here. This was kind of a gap in the Sunday night, and we're kind of sitting high. Not to say that it couldn't break it. I mean, it spent a lot of time there. Sunday to money, but again, it's not really an actively traded market Sunday to money. But yeah, there's a little trap. A little trap right there. Right? A little bearish trap. Again, pretty easy. And we've been saying this. I don't even know for how long we've been saying it, but yeah. Breaking the higher low in Globex is a great thing. So many people jump into these things. So yeah, nice little run on the top side. NQ, what do we got here? Wow, look at that. Just happened to do the same exact thing. There was your Globex low. And what did it do? Here, just make sure everybody understands I am not cheating this one. Copy, paste, bam, there you go. What did it do? Opened all the way up here. No confirmed zones in the overnight. And what did it do? The second it goes through, went just a little bit more and went down just about that far. Here, I'll even draw it so you guys can see it. It went that far down. And what did it do? To the roof. To the roof. So, yes, there is another. And you can see that you can see it did not touch there. Yeah, bear trap. It's like toe pick for that movie. Here you go. Another one. There's the low. And again, we'll double click on it. We will copy. We will paste. And boom. What happened? We broke the Globex low. Sell, everybody. Sell. Boom. Off to the races. And again, it's coming back up to the same area where we got some stuff up top. We'll run into it. Yeah. Let's see. Did Russell do it too? Russell's was a little bit deeper. And Russell's always a little bit more edgy, right? Now we were sitting there. I mean, I guess you could have said there's kind of I mean, it's one of those ones that it's kind of like, hey, listen, there's a confirmed level right there in the overnight. Typically, we like it formed up here around like that 3-4 o'clock frame. If anything, I would say that if we were up here at the open, 8:15, it's a little bit close, a little bit close. So, and this one's already gone up and grabbed it. So, go Russell. But yeah, same thing. Hit sell the second it breaks, and then went down and wiped everybody out. So basically, it was a morning of traps. Again, Monday morning is the best time to do it because people are looking for some type of an insight for the week. It's like, oh, if we're going to break over the high and low, there we go. So 4 traps. No setups for us for opening print. I mean, besides the trap, but the trap is not the strategy. It's just what people do. So yeah. All right, that's it for a super slow Monday. Finally getting a little bit of movement out here. Again, pound yen doing some work. 85 is good. 55 isn't bad, but like 4. Again, you're seeing this one up 86, but you're seeing this one up 4. So 7, 12. All right, let's go ahead and do our giveaway for today. Yeah. What is that? What are you doing? We'll let this one go right till 5. Always like to give you guys at least 30 seconds because, again, there is the delay in there. Here, give me that. Can I have that? Yes, give that to me, please. No, it's not yours. It's not yours. Your play is over here. Your play is backwards. You're not even watching it. Yeah, me and the 2-year-old matching wits today. Let me tell you. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right. Winner of today's drawing is Neuro. I think that's a 3, isn't it, Neuro? I feel like that's a 3. And I don't know why 6 is so magical for you, but 6 seems to be the thing. So wait, let's see. So that was today, right? That's today. There. It is a 3, right? So again, Neuro, 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 Ernest. So yeah, so it was a 3. That was that's the only thing I could think of. I wasn't going to say it. So I'm glad that you said it. I'm glad that you said it and not me. No, you don't need this, buds. But yeah, and actually, now that I remember, like I said, I'm like, what? No, you don't need this. No, no, you don't need this. No, no. There you go. So tomorrow we're back down to 0. Everybody's on equal playing ground tomorrow, so we will see how it goes. So with that, hopefully a lot more movement tomorrow morning. We got a lot more active markets and there's better zones out there. Unfortunately, again, we're scraping the bottom today of what we could try to get out of it. We'll see what we can get out. So, all right. With that, thank you for joining me today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you then. Be safe, everybody, and I'll catch you later.